We're live on the app. Tune in, Alexa, ESPNPC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and in your car at 101.9 and 104.3. Wherever you go, there we are. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The remainder of the day, some sun and 80 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the south-southeast. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 69. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 79. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 78 and a variety of mostly clouds and light rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
Are you ready? Okay, let's begin.
Trip. The Afternoon Underdog Trip.
Is your car looking dull? Is your home's exterior showing its age? Flight Mobile Detail Technician brings the shine right to you. They offer expert mobile car detailing, from paint correction and ceramic coating to deep seat shampooing. And for your home or business, their soft wash pressure washing system cleans without damage. Convenient, professional, and right at your door. Don't wait. Get that showroom shine and curb appeal back. Call Flight Mobile Detail Technician today. 850-640-5286. 850-640-5286.
Come experience the weird and wonderful world of El Weirdo, a brewery and taco pub in downtown Panama City on Oak Avenue. El Weirdo is serving up delicious street tacos, magical lizard fries, locally brewed beer, margaritas, and more, all surrounded by art, oddities, and all things weird. It's a feast for your eyes and your mouth. Visit El Weirdo in historic downtown Panama City today.
El Weirdo, 24 West Oak Avenue, and online at elweirdodowntown.com.
Visit the newly remodeled Mid-South Lumber Hardware and Feed Store in Youngstown. They have a full line of plumbing, electrical, hardware, and tools for your DIY home projects, as well as lumber and animal feed. Now offering not only baby chicks and a full line of poultry supplies, but also bunnies and parakeets. They also carry a wide selection of Duplin wines and gourmet products, so you don't have to drive to the beach. Come see us at Mid-South Lumber on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you ready? Okay, let's begin.
Trip. The Afternoon Underdog Trip. Live and local. Inside the Talk House.
Unleash the dragon.
On the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep making noise. Keep making noise. Yeah.
What's going on, Northwest Florida? You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs Takeover again, day number 2. This is Chef Ross here, leading the way with Caveman Rick next to me, David Hayes behind the glass, and we are sitting in the CBCConstructions.com studios here in Panama City, listening on 104.3, 101.9 Port St. Joe. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Like and follow the stream on all those platforms. Caveman, how is it going today, buddy?
That's great, man. I got here kind of quick. Traffic was kind of light coming over the bridge, kind of a change from the norm, how it's been on Fridays. Maybe some of the pew-pews and some of the gun violence has scared some folks away. I don't know. But, hey, I ain't complaining. I like the less traffic, you know?
Yeah. Before we get into the pew-pews, 12 minutes ago, Adam Schefter is reporting that former Cowboys and 49ers quarterback Trey Lance reached an agreement today for 1 year up to $6.2 million with the Los Angeles Chargers.
The hell's Jim Harbaugh thinking?
Who did what?
Trey Lance to the Chargers for 1 year.
Who's Trey Lance? Where did he play at? Where did he play college ball at? Was it
North Dakota?
He played barely?
He didn't really play college. He played like 7-on-7 flag football is where he comes from.
He was a fighting bison from North Dakota.
Hey, there you go. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things that you kind of felt like something was going to be happening, right? Whenever you see, what's his name, go from... Who was?
Cooper.
Milton. From the Patriots.
Yep.
To the Cowboys. Yeah, it's one of those things that you felt like there was going to be a move. Like, why are they going to hold on to Trey Lance as well? But then again,
he was a free agent, so I don't think they wanted him back to begin with.
Well, I was going to say the Ravens. They nabbed Cooper Rush, and I feel like teams should be more aware of having a third quarterback on their roster, though.
I don't see why you wouldn't want to have one now with
if you're the Eagles, right? Like, you probably need 5 or 6.
No, we just need Jalen Hurts, man. He don't get hurt. Look at him. He runs
dude, like, when's the last time they won the Super Bowl? Let's be real.
I don't know, man.
Remember 3 weeks ago
17?
where Aaron Rodgers had to be the first domino to fall for all these other quarterbacks to sign? And now who's the only quarterback out there not signed?
Yeah, that's a good point, but also, Chef Ross, if you don't mind, tell him about the studios that we're in right now.
We are in the CBC Construction Studio.
There you go. Give them a call, 850-747-3815, and they are looking for employees right now. So if you go to cbcconstruction.com and click on careers, you can get you a career with cbcconstruction.com. Back to Chef Ross doing a wonderful job with his ugly combination of a uniform on this afternoon.
It's matching. It's yellow versus yellow.
I'll give you that. It's matching.
Ja Morant, his pocket is a little bit lighter today because he can't figure out how to stop finger gunning at people. He got fined $75,000 this afternoon by the NBA for pointing finger guns after being warned for pointing finger guns, after serving a suspension for flashing a gun in a nightclub. At what point does he learn that you can't pew-pew on an NBA court?
I don't know. I guess what do you say about that? You can take him out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the player.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Well, I'm just saying, he's a knucklehead. When's this guy going to learn? Obviously you got in trouble. You got suspended. You weren't playing for a while. You came back. You were trying to be contrite. Obviously, those are just words. You were just saying the right thing in the right time, and you don't get it, obviously. Look at the Grizzlies, too. Look at their state, how they eviscerated, like their front office and stuff, and the team just isn't, playing up to its expectations, I guess. They have talent, I guess, if you will, or athleticism, but outside of that, they don't got much sense. So, I don't know, man. Grizzlies, you guys got to get your stuff together.
I hate this because I stuck up for him the other day after it happened. I'm like, yes, I know that he's had the things happen that have kind of, fell in line with this particular gesture that he's making, but I don't think he should be, fined for it. Then all of a sudden, the very next game, you're going to go ahead and make the same exact gesture that you were warned not to do. And that's where, to me, all right, if it didn't seem stupid before, now it's the epitome of stupid. And honestly, I feel like you're kind of lucky to an extent to only be fined $75,000.
Well, let's face it. It's impulsive, right? And let's face it, if he wasn't a star player, I don't say a face of the league type player.
He's not even.
He'd be gone.
I don't even think he would have been warned.
If he was a fringe player, or a bench guy,
I don't think it would even be noticed. I don't even think it would be noticed if he was that.
I'm going to take this one step further. If he didn't sit the suspension for flashing the gun in the nightclub and just made a bucket, went pew-pew, I don't think this is a story. But because of the suspension, because of who it is, and all of the background story, like back in the day, Draymond Green kicking people when they shouldn't be, where they shouldn't be kicked, because of all of the past and the track record.
Yeah, repeat
this
offender.
Is now where this becomes a huge story.
There's no doubt about that. Any of that. Buddy Hield's not even in trouble if it's not and not that Buddy Hield is in trouble. There's no doubt that there's an issue because it is Ja Morant. But if it was never Ja Morant, I don't even think that they notice that he even does that. How many other players do this and it's not an issue?
They don't have a background like he has.
This is exactly what I'm trying to say, that if it's not Ja Morant, I don't think that it's even noticed. I don't think that it's not an issue.
The NBA obviously is trying to go away from that look. You can't have the Washington Bullets anymore, which is a ridiculous idea, too. They had to change their name.
Yeah, but that was even before Woke City came around.
And I hear that, but I'm still saying, that's the league trying to improve its image, right? right? So you can't do that and tell like the Washington team you can't be called the Bullets anymore. And then you got some knucklehead running around making gestures like that. I mean, when he did it in the Golden State game, you even had a guy like Draymond Green that they showed him on the court pointing like, you know, to Steph Curry, like, what the hell is this clown doing? Look at this. You know what I'm saying? And this is a knucklehead like Draymond Green saying this, you know what I mean? Who's not perfect in his own right mind or his own, like, you know, playing style. So, I mean, if he's doing this and he's saying, like, hey, this isn't right or whatever, it should tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, again, Draymond has cleaned up since his last suspension a few years ago. We don't see him kicking people in the ding-ding or
punching teammates in the face.
Or punching teammates during practice or costing his team a world championship. But thanks to bringing that home to LeBron, Cleveland. Another sad story with this, which I'm going to preface this by saying great job, Panama City Beach Police. But unfortunately, we had another shooting here last night on the beach. And fortunate on this, nobody was injured through this shooting. We have 3 people that have been arrested for this, but we have more knuckleheads. And I hate that these idiots and knuckleheads ruin spring break for the majority of people that are coming here, having a good time, enjoying our restaurants, our hotels, our tourist economy. But yet we have these idiots that are ruining all of that for the rest of these other people. Caveman?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I already said
Caveman, say some crazy stuff to make me
I already said
feel
my
valid.
piece on that, man. Like, so is John Morant to blame now for this? Like,
I think that's where little Brett Favre was going right there.
Pointing your finger that maybe this wouldn't be going on. I don't know. I'm actually over it. I'm glad I live in town. I don't have to deal with a lot of the shenanigans. I'm a little ways away from it, so I mean, like, I got my choice. You know, I stay in town more likely. You know, usually, and then I don't have to worry about so much. But I mean, like, if you live out here, man, like, it's got to make you think about stuff, though. I got to tell you, though, you know, like, I mean, for real, it's getting pretty crazy. It's getting out of control. I mean, really.
Dave and I were right there for lunch today.
We need to take our town back, you know?
We had no issues.
Yeah, we had no issues at lunch. We were the only people in that place.
It was fine. It was absolutely fine out there, just so everyone knows. Like, it was absolutely fine out there during the daytime. In fact, you would feel like it was, you know, not spring break right now.
Yeah, well, usually these things are happening when it gets dark out.
Yeah.
So go inside. If you live here, go inside a little earlier than what you would. And when spring break's over, guess what? You have the rest of the time to enjoy the beach. If you do so, enjoy the beach.
Continuing on with some headlines here.
Well, no, I mean, what's your issue?
Like,
Come on, let's go. I've been waiting to argue with you for 2 days. No, hold on. I've been waiting to argue with you for 2 days, so let's go.
All right, let's go. I think part of the problem with this is, like, okay, so the TDC tries to get, like, lots of people coming down here. Always want to have an event planned. Always want to have stuff going on. And that's great for tourism. It's great for the economy, right? But when you're doing this, these business owners want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have, you know, hotels at 100% occupancy. They want the restaurants full where you got a 3-hour wait to get a table, you know, all this and that. Well, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? So if you have all these people down here, you're going to have some of this nonsense spilling over, I think, when the beach is like this crowded and this packed. The way I look at it is, okay, if you go to, anybody's gone to a sporting event, a rock, you know, any kind of music concert, hell, even like a movie in the movie theater, okay? Not every event that you go to is sold out, right? It's not always like standing room only.
Bull crap.
So, like, why does every weekend down here have to be like packed out and like standing room only? You know what I mean? Like,
so a hotel should say, hey, we're gonna
no, you
our
don't try to not have
is 80%.
But these businesses complain when they're not sold out and they're not to full capacity, you know?
So being in the hotel industry, it's one thing to sell out the hotel.
You are.
Each room has a max capacity of said number of guests. Usually
it's a set number.
Usually it's 4 in a hotel room.
Is that a good number or a bad number?
It's a good number.
Okay.
I like 4.
What's your favorite
Depends on how many
number?
beds.
But here's the other hand. These kids are coming down packing in 12, 15.
Show me the other hand.
These kids are coming down packing 12, 15 plus
Packing
people.
what? Heat?
A little bit, obviously.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
But they're very overcrowding these hotel rooms, and the hotels are allowing that to come down and happen.
Because they want to make more money. Because if the room of 4, they can't, if the rest of their buddies don't come down here together, then they're not going to rent that room. You know what I mean? So they're letting that stuff slide, I guess is what you're saying, so as to that they can have the rooms rented.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But they're also, the hotel's not making any more money on a room of one person compared to 12 people.
But you're also selling out all your rooms, though. You can have the option of not allowing the shenanigans and having like 8 or 10 or 12 people to a room or what have you, okay? And if they didn't allow that, maybe these said people don't come down here and they go to another establishment or to go to another town. So like you're saying, they're kind of looking the other way so as to bring the people down here. But then when this kind of stuff happens, you got people up in arms. Oh my God, these people are taking over our town and they're doing this and they're doing that. Well, you're kind of letting it happen by looking the other way. So you have to make your mind up. Are you going to enforce the rules that you have in place and the stuff that's supposed to be done per like fire laws and all that kind of stuff? Or are you going to let the shenanigans happen? But if you're going to let all these people come down and do that, then don't complain about this kind of stuff. And that's what I've been hearing a lot of. It's obviously a lot of people complaining about it, and I get it, but you live on the beach too. It's you kind of know this kind of stuff's gonna happen. There's gonna be crowds of people, there's gonna be this and that, and we can't go a bike week, right? I mean, they don't have gunplay, but anytime that there's that going on, how many times we hear about motorcycle accidents and people dying and stuff? It just comes with the territory. You have that many people riding around on bikes a lot of times without helmets. I used to do EMS. That's going to translate into injuries and deaths. I mean, you do the math.
Michigan State Bruce says, your offices are in a special event zone there for Bay County. And I've seen that sign the last 3 or 4 days. I'm like, what does that even mean? By the time I see that sign, I'm already on the bridge. So I don't really know, but we are in a special event zone for Bay County.
Yeah, that means.
How does that make you feel, Chef Ross?
Doesn't make me want to speed, that's for sure, because any fine is doubled.
So you're saying that you do speed whenever you don't see those signs?
Have you driven on the Hathaway? Of course we all speed.
Not on the bridge.
You think I'm a snitch on myself? That's crazy.
You can keeping up with speed. What are they going to do, man? They're going to give you a ticket for saying you speed?
I go the speed limit all the time, no matter whatever state of mind I'm in. It doesn't matter. Speed limit all the way.
I only drive in a sober state of mind, David Hayes.
I
just drive.
That right there is all right, bro. Smack yourself in the face. So, Caveman Rick, you're wearing a lot of Phillies gears today. How do you think that they do against the LA Dodgers?
I like our chances against the Dodgers.
Do you really?
Yes, sir. We're at home.
That's actual belief, or
hell yeah, why not? We're not 0-8.
Do you believe more in the Phillies than you do the Atlanta Braves?
Of course.
Oh my gosh! All right, do you believe more in the Phillies' opportunity to win the NL East than the Dodgers' chance to win the NL West?
Yeah, I do.
Because of who? The Padres?
Because one, your division, that you're talking about. I mean, look at your team. Here, the Atlanta Braves, we don't have nothing to worry about the Braves right now. We actually played the Nationals. We beat them in a series, right? Woo. So, the Mets, we haven't played them yet, but I'm not worried about them. They usually implode and do their own damage to themselves, and I'm not worried about Miami. So, we have a really good chance of winning our division. Okay, now you look over in the West. Well, who's another team that's undefeated like the LA Dodgers?
Nobody.
That happens to be the team that you guys lost to in this series, the Padres.
Nobody's undefeated like the Dodgers.
So you got the Padres that are playing really well, too, so they're going to compete.
The Padres lose last night?
No, they lost today.
Okay, so they already lost. Okay, so they lost one game. So
let's go.
But they're going to compete in that division.
Avenging the Braves.
So, I mean, you have a pretty, I don't want to say a stout or tough team. We know the Dodgers are pretty much an all-star team. But, honestly, how long do we think they can keep it going? The team's deep, but, has some injuries. Look, Freddie Freeman's on the IL right now, right? I don't know if it's a 15-day or what the amount is.
I think it's 10-day IL.
Okay,
10-day IL.
Sure.
Do you know what happened to him? Fell in the shower.
Oh, fell in the shower?
If that's not getting old, I don't know what is.
Or
freak accident. I mean, at least it's not on the IL for sneezing.
Yeah,
like Sammy Sosa was
Sammy Sosa, absolutely. Good point.
So, yeah, because of that, anything can happen. Injury bug can hit them like the way they hit the Braves last season. And they're, promising season where some people think they might get 120 wins, might fall very short of that depending on how things go. Just because you're the best team on paper doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the best team when it's all said and done. How many times have we seen that in any sport?
After the first week, it has translated that they're not only the best team on paper, the best team on the field too.
Maybe so, but I saw a stat today about, like, say, my Philadelphia Phillies right now, and we got the best batting average right now against, opposing bullpens so far. So that's something the Dodgers don't have, their crown hanging on right now. And, what are we going to do? Are we crowning them already? It's a weekend in the season, right? I think people need to pump the brakes a little bit. Small sample size.
So, Geno Smith recently signed for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's hard calling them the Las Vegas Raiders. They will always be Oakland in my mind, just like the Chargers will always be the San Diego Chargers. But he signed a 2-year, $85 million deal. Do you think it's a fair deal for Geno in Vegas?
How much is the deal?
2 years, 85.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Starting quarterbacks right now getting 35, 40 million easy. That's a pretty, fair number for your starting quarterback nowadays. So I don't see why not. He did pretty well in Seattle, considering, he had wide receivers to throw to, so let's be real. He's not going to have the wealth of wide receivers over in L.A. that he had in Seattle. But, they're poised to, everybody's thinking, get Ashton Genty, so they should have a beast running the ball, kind of like Marshawn Lynch was in Seattle. Yeah. So why not? You got Brock Bowers. He's got some tools to work with. He's like a system-type quarterback, I think. Nothing flashy, but he can definitely win some games. Problem's going to be is the division that he's in. What kind of record are you going to have? Are you going to be able to make the playoffs as a wild card? Because more than likely you probably won't win the division. So it's just going to depend on, how the rest of the conference pans out, I think. But, and then you got Pete Carroll. Obviously, he can, coach and make a lot of things happen. He's like a players type coach. Maybe that's the kind of thing that team kind of needs right now, being moving to a new town. He is kind of flashy, kind of fits in with Vegas, so it all might work out. Biggest knock against that team is probably ownership and Mark Davis and Tom Brady. Sorry, Tim.
So if you're the Raiders, do you still look for a quarterback in this draft and have him groomed behind Geno?
I don't know about that.
Geno's the fourth best quarterback in that division, we would say.
Potentially.
Who?
That's it.
It's a tough quarterback division, but
right. Well, all right. So easy, right? Patrick Mahomes
one.
You got Herbert
two. Do you put
and Herbert? It's all contingent on how well he does.
We actually say?
If you're Adam Goff, if you're Rain Cloud, you're not going to put him number 2. You might be putting him last.
If you're Rain Cloud, you probably put him 32nd in the NFL.
So it all depends on your opinion.
Guy. And that guy was trying to tell me I was being negative the other day. I wanted to grab some of the rain out of his cloud and splash it in his face.
Where they're at in their career right now, I would rather build around Bo Nix and the future than Geno Smith and what I've seen.
Do you concur with that? Yes or no?
What's that?
Would you build around Herbert or would you build around
Bo Nix or Geno Smith?
Nix or Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were going Herbert. Nix or Smith. That's tough, for me. Man. It's not tough actually. I feel like Smith. When you sit there and look at the ceiling, I would say that the ceilings are equatable, but I would also say that the floor for Bo Nix is a little bit higher because of his youth and because of his youth alone. And the fact that he played at one point in time for Auburn is good enough reason for me to take Geno Smith every single time.
Right on. I just think, Geno Smith's the more, obviously proven guy, larger sample size. He's been in the NFL. He's a veteran. He's been there, done that. So I'm comfortable with him and running a system. Bo Nix has had one good season. All right. So we'll see what happens, after is it going to have a sophomore slump? Is it all predicated upon, Sean Payton? Yada, yada, yada. So kind of like how you were saying, David, I think when it comes to their floors, I actually think they both have basically the same floor. I think Bo Nix might have the higher ceiling, though, because he's got, I think, a bigger arm. He's, I think, a bigger quarterback stature and size-wise, and like you said, with the youth right now. So, but that's all predicated upon, how they utilize them.
I feel like we've already seen Geno Smith's ceiling. I think Bo Nix has something else in the tank we haven't seen in the NFL, At least I hope he does. Otherwise, he's going to struggle this year.
I don't think we've seen the best out of Geno Smith.
Come on, preach.
Because Geno Smith, like he hasn't been around or on a really stellar team. I think if you put enough studs around him and a great offensive line, a great running back, who knows what the ceiling would be for a guy like that, But you have to be able to see it, and he's got to be paired with that kind of talent to actually see what he might be worth in that sense, which we're probably not going to ever see.
DK, let me come in with the statement that I don't want to make, but Bo Nix was a lot more impressive than what I ever thought he was going to be with the Denver Broncos.
I agree.
And is there room for him to grow? Sadly. I don't even mean sadly, honestly. The kid is good.
He's a good quarterback.
He's better than what I thought he would be. He really didn't even have a load of weapons. The weapons, if they get better, are going to be in a better position. Sean Payton can put that playbook, can mold that playbook around him a little bit more. Long term, if I got to take the coach combination with a quarterback, I think it would be Bo Nix and Sean Payton.
And Bo Nix, what he's got going for him, I mean, he was 5 years starting in college, so he's seasoned. He didn't He just wasn't part of a team your team, like an Alabama or somebody that, had the best weapons around him all the time, the greatest offensive line, a lot of great wide receivers, great running backs. He had to make throws in tight windows. He, didn't have the benefit of always having the best offensive line and have all the time in the world to throw the ball. And I think that's what you see in these quarterbacks coming out of college is the ones that face a lot more adversity in college tend to come out and they're a lot more seasoned and they're better to get adapted right away to the NFL than somebody that just plays for a couple years, comes out in the draft and had it easy their whole entire career in college or maybe even high school as well.
All right, we got to pay some bills. We're a little late on this, long in this segment. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Radio, 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 Port St. Joe. When we come back, we'll talk a little Major League Baseball.
Your home for college basketball, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Auburn Tigers advance to the Final Four. This Saturday, it's the Florida Gators versus the Auburn Tigers. Final Four coverage starts at 2. Tip-off at 5, right here on your home for the Auburn Tigers and the Final Four.
And count it on the 3.
War Eagle, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The remainder of the day, some sun and 80 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the south-southeast. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 69. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 79. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 78 and a variety of mostly clouds and light rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Hey, this is David Hayes, and I want to invite you to Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar Monday evening at 6:30 for the national championship and some good old crawfish. The locals know where to go to get their fix for the best seafood boil in town. That's Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar. We'll give away T-shirts and other swag. Plus, what goes better with championship hoops than crawfish and cold beverages? Monday night, 6:30. Come enjoy the evening at Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar in beautiful downtown Panama City.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com on Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on the Sports Talk Monster. You're gonna be mine! Woo! ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back to the CBC Construction Studios here in Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. Please give us a call or text at 850-215-6290 as we have Chef Ross taking over the mic, Caveman Rick right next to me, and DJ Davey Crockett spinning the tunes in the fishbowl.
Playing all these songs live, by the way, too. This is all guitar. I got the electric drum pads back here and everything. All of these are produced by David Hayes.
Yeah, the keytar.
And we are
the instrument. I got it back here, brother.
We are also the home for your Atlanta Braves. First pitch tonight at 6:15. Schwellenbacher is taking on Meyer for him. That's what was on the score.
It's funny how I just shake my head back here, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we must be.
Like,
yes,
if you have,
right. We got the Braves going on tonight. Hopefully they can get a win. If not, Chef Ross, what are you going to do?
This is the home opener. This is the one that we've got to win. This is a game that'll turn around the season for the Atlanta Braves. Put a little fear in that Philly guy's crawl here, as he thinks the division's already over in the first week of April.
Yeah, that guy, he's a little short-sighted, you know. Like, he went to the optometrist the other day. He said he was nearsighted, and he also thought that the Phillies were going to be winning the division. And it's like, well, you're nearsighted, bro. Yeah. You need to think about things in the long-term side of things. We're talking about you, Caveman Rick. Yes, your ears are burning, but it's okay.
Yeah. We're not even done mixing the cake, let alone putting it in the oven to bake.
Right.
So
you can't even let the cake bake unless you mix the cake and form it together. And then you, even after it baked, what do you have to do after a cake bakes?
Let it cool down.
And then what do you have to do?
Ice it.
You got to put the icing on the cake, right?
Good cake doesn't need icing.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, this isn't steak. We're not talking about,
this good cake really needs a fondant.
Yeah, I don't even know about all of that. I don't care. I need something sweet on my cake, though. I've never had, pound cake is the only cake I eat without icing.
Any cake, if it's done right and it's good on its own, doesn't require icing.
This is ridiculous acumen. What are you talking about?
No, man, good cake doesn't require icing.
I've never heard that saying in my life before.
Sure,
this is ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous.
Is this real?
I've never heard that saying.
And you're a chef, and I worked in restaurants before. You stand by that?
Yes. It's the same as like good steak doesn't need sauce.
No, it's not the same.
Good cake doesn't need icing.
That's not even close to the same.
Good ice cream doesn't need a bazillion like add-ons, toppings, or stuff inside of it. Just simple vanilla or something. If it's done right, is good on its own. It stands alone. All right.
Are you saying good water doesn't need ice?
Oh, good water needs ice.
No. I don't mind mine being cool but not ice cold.
Well, some people don't need their cake to be sugared by 1,000.
And
some people don't even need their cake. Their steak, you don't need it if it's cooked correctly, correct?
Yeah, good steak, if it's done right, doesn't need sauce. You do that because you have an inferior product and you're trying to make the inferior product better.
No, because it's not about the product.
Yeah,
it's about who cooked the product.
It's like the reason why, alcohol, you got mixed drinks and stuff now is because back in the day when people made bathtub gin, stuff tasted horrible. So they had to mix it with stuff so they could actually get it down. No. And that's where that stuff kind of came from. And like if you got good, tasting stuff, you don't need to mix it with junk.
I think if you're a respectful human being, you don't use sauces or agents to help you get it down. I'm sorry.
And actually, every French recipe has a sauce.
Au jus.
So what are you trying to say? Just because they're French, they don't know everything about cooking? Who cares?
Have you ever had French fries?
Yeah, they're not
French.
French.
They need the sauce.
Yeah, they do.
No, good fries don't need ketchup or don't need any sauce. Good fries stand alone, man.
I think
French fries and béarnaise.
The better that the fry is, the better it is in a nice homemade ranch.
All right, so Right State Chris says cake isn't supposed to be super sweet. It needs the icing.
Yes, facts.
He also said,
Chris,
David,
right,
that playing Rock Band on the Xbox 360 doesn't count as live music.
Oh, yeah, no, compared to what this is. But Caveman Rick can also attend to. I can play guitar, so Caveman Rick can attend to that.
Well, I mean, you got a guitar. I mean, about playing it. I mean, I don't know.
That's facts. But I have played it.
No, I hear. I'm just busting balls. I'm just being facetious.
Let's crush the Phillies some more. Last night,
what have we actually done to crush the Phillies?
Here we go. Last night, the Cincinnati Reds lost their third straight game 1-0, becoming the second team in the modern ball era to ever lose 3 straight games 1-0. Caveman Rick, who was the first?
Probably the Phillies.
It was the Phillies.
And we're also the first team to 10,000 losses. But you know what that means? Is because we've been playing ball for like 120 years. So when that happens, there's going to be stuff like that's going to be like on your record. So what? We've got a long, storied history.
But I'll give this Reds team credit. They did this 3 straight 1-0 losses with the Torpedo Bats.
Hey, Torpedo Bats and losing, possibilities are endless.
And Braves fans, this will help your spirits. Spencer Strider's making his rehab start tonight for the Gwinnett Stripers.
Hey, there you go, man. We'll see if that helps. At the end of the day, it really hasn't been the pitching as much as it has been the lack of offense for the Braves. So we'll see what.
I don't know. A lot of people screaming about the bullpen.
Yeah,
but you got to score runs to have the bullpen giving up runs.
I was about to say
the offense was up to a 6-0 lead the other night with the Dodgers.
5-0.
5-0
because the final score was 6-5.
Yeah, because Shohei getting the walk-off.
Shohei said, "No way is you getting your first win against us this evening."
Slammed the door in your all's face right there. Nice. I like it.
So St. Petersburg is voted 7-1, to approve a $22.5 million budget to put a roof on Tropicana
That's a
Field.
small population, 7-1. They only got 8 people down there. Holy cow! I mean, I know people weren't going to games, but that's probably the reason why they only got 8 folks that live down there, huh?
Just 7 that matter.
Yeah,
8 that matter. Rather.
But it was said in this article that they are responsible to upkeep the Tropicana Field until through 2026, I believe, 2027. My question is, why does this one person vote no when they are legally responsible to upkeep this field and provide the home for the Tampa Bay Rays?
Because if the vote were to go unanimous, it would have to be 52.5 rather than 26.5.
Okay, that makes sense. So the Rays have a home next year.
I just made that up. Are any of y'all hearing cat noises?
No.
I don't hear nothing. I'm trying not to hear dead noises, so I'm going to keep talking so there's no dead air on the line. Mr. Randy, I got you today. Please call in and help us out, people.
850-215-6290. But no, $26.5 million going to get the job done over there at the Trop, and that's I think it's the right move. If you don't know what the future is going to hold for you, I think that you should go ahead and have an idea of what you're going to do for the future there.
I honestly don't think the city should be liable for this when it was the Rays that pulled out of the new stadium that would have opened in 2026.
Yeah, get the billionaire owners to put up some money and have them pay.
Oh, we may have a phone call here. But honestly, the Rays should sell that team. He's not putting any money in it. They need to be moved back to Tampa where they can get some fans that show up to the stadium because, we have a phone call, Dave? Who do we got on the line? Hey, who do we got on the line?
He can't hear
you. Hey, we got Mike McMullen. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. How are you, Mike?
Doing good. I heard you struggling. You said call in, so I'm calling in. What do you want to talk about? Something at me.
Mike, what's on your mind today, buddy?
What's on my mind is the Final Four. And I know you probably already talked about it. I just got in the car, so I'm driving along. And I'm a Duke fan when it comes to basketball because old Coach Krzyzewski. And so, I got them playing Florida. So that's what I was yapping about. Was just
you got them playing
Florida, and
you got them playing Florida or beating Florida on Monday?
I got them beating Florida on Monday.
Me too.
I'm just listen up. I've watched all 4 of those teams, and I know they all got good chemistry, but Duke just does some things, and they got that one senior that they picked up off the graduate, transfer portal, and he said, my job is to distribute the ball and defend. And that's all he cares about doing. And when you got that guy, it kind of makes it tough for other teams,
Yeah, you definitely need to.
And they're all, the shortest guy is 6'6" on that whole team that plays anyway. I was like, damn, that's big,
Yeah, Duke definitely showed during the ACC tournament that it's not Cooper Flagg and everybody else, because he barely played in the tournament and they still won the whole darn thing.
Oh, yeah, and that kid's athletic as hell. You know he's a twin. He's got his brother that just won a state title in Maine the other day. I thought that was cool.
That's actually why I did not know that he was a twin. I think that's a pretty cool fact about Cooper Flagg there.
So, Mike, did you hear that we're going to be at the Lone Star Boil House on Monday watching the game?
Are you now? I might have heard that earlier because somebody mentioned it this morning that Jason was going to be out there from Coach's show. And the Lone Star, you know what? I'm a slacker. I live in town, so I don't even know where that's at.
Hey, well, with you being a slacker, just like the rest of us here in the building, we're right there. It's going to be downtown off of Fish Street, kind of off of Beach Drive-ish, and over there by the big tanks.
Yeah, you go past the big tanks. I think it's over on the left.
Is that where big... Oh, I know exactly where it's at. It's right by our American Legion. It's right around the corner.
It's right by the old Coca-Cola building, I believe.
Yeah. I'm going to... You know what? I may come over there and bug you guys.
You better.
I'm cool with saying, hey...
David Hayes may be giving out some autographs over there, too.
I might be there, yes. I might. I'm not going to say I am. I might be there.
Caveman kicking some babies, all the good stuff going on here.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about on Mondays, when you got our sports card folks in there? I was like, what we ought to do is get a Northwest Florida ESPN sports card series going. And, we'll get you guys in action with your ESPN shirts on. And we'll, then you can hand them out like business cards and we could get them signed. And, that may be worth, Dave may be running ESPN in 30 years and that'd be a damn good keepsake to have.
I sure hope not.
Maybe you'll be retired on a 50-foot.
Hey, whatever ends up happening will end up happening. If I can, serve the people of Panama City in any way, shape, or form, I will be down with that. I just hope that I can, afford to pay my bills.
Yeah. Hey, another thing, local softball. I'm a big fan of Bozeman, not only because, but I like Bozeman out there. I live close to that school. But my neighbor, she's a junior catcher for Bozeman, and they won a nail biter last night, 9-8 over Chipley. And I got that Game Changer app, so I'm always watching her and all my cousins or my nieces that play out in Wyoming. I watch their games as well. But that was a nail biter. They got a stolen base and then a solid hit on the last round of bats. Drove in that last run, and that was pretty exciting. So it's always good to see the local kids having good competition.
Yeah, it's always nice to win on a walk-off, too.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay, take me to a break so that me and Caveman Rick can wrestle real quick.
Yeah, you go wrestle, but hey, did he point it out? Did Shohei call his shot? Did he, tip the bat like, I'm hitting it out here?
I don't think he did.
I don't feel like he did.
No, he didn't call his shot.
Have you seen something that says otherwise, though?
No. I'm just thinking that would have been cool if he'd have said, like he said, you're not getting your first win on me, and just pointed to the fence with his bat. That'd have been awesome.
Okay, so you're obviously not a Braves fan, are you?
But the entire Dodger dugout knew that Shohei was going deep in the 10th.
Yeah, of course he's going deep all the time. So hey, I don't blame him. He's got the swing. Till he loses it, swing for the fence. That's what I say. It's like if I played basketball with you guys in a 3-on-3, if you throw me the ball, I'm shooting that bad boy. Now that's older, Mike, but I'm still shooting because you can't score if you're not shooting.
Now we know what it is. You're like, oh man, I've only gotten the ball one time this season. I am going to shoot every opportunity I get when these young whippersnappers give me the ball.
Wayne Gretzky missed 100% of the shots he never took.
I'll leave you alone. I know you got to get their break, so we'll chit chat with you down the road. All right.
All right. Thanks for the call, man. Hope to see you Monday. All right, we are heading off to break to pay some bills. When we come back, we'll go further down the rabbit hole of traffic jam and trivia. So stay tuned for the trivia question, sponsored by me.
You're giving away the gifts this afternoon?
I probably won't be here to give them away. David will give them away. But we got some amazing prizes. And I didn't even know the answer when I looked up this trivia question, but we'll be back riding with the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Radio in Northwest Florida.
Auburn fans, let's hear it.
This is an open three.
You've earned this one.
And he knocked it down.
ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the SEC champion Auburn Tigers. Congratulations to Coach Pearl and the Auburn Tigers for a historic season. And we're not done yet. The madness is just starting. Listen to the Tigers plow through the tournament right here. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The remainder of the day, some sun and 80 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the south-southeast. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 69. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 79. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 78 and a variety of mostly clouds and light rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. The road is yours. Let spring adventures begin in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and check out the 2025 SUV family. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. And now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust at Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. $1,748 per month per $1,000 finance in 60 months. Quality is limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 4/30/25.
For the A.
Deep right center field, and is gone.
Your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Listen live nights and weekends. This is Braves country. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back in the studios here in the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Do me a favor, crush that share button on Facebook, crush that like button on YouTube, and tell all your friends about us so we can grow up. Grow our audience.
So I'd love to grow up as well.
I don't want to grow up. I'm 45 years old, and I still don't want to grow up.
I still haven't even figured out what I want to do when I grow up.
Me neither. ESPN Northwest Florida does present the Race to Talladega starting on Monday. We have 2 passes to the Jack Links 500 Sunday, April 27th. Enter the race to listen to the Coach James Hale Show at 7:15 and 8:15 for the code word of the day. When you hear the code word, text the word and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Then listen to the Inside Drive at 12:40 and the Afternoon Underdogs at 5:40. If they announce your name, race to the phones and call 850-215-6290.
I like that too. 6290.
Okay, talk much today, Ross?
Look, I got into the booth and he got all choked up, guys.
Hey, I know exactly how that feels on Wednesdays. So why do you think, like this Friday, I was like, I just can't deal with it. I just can't deal with it. I'll put Ross in that position.
Not the first guy you made speechless, Morgan.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is crazy because if you actually talk to me, I'm like, you just never know what's going to happen.
If Rick was in here, he'd say the R word.
So anyway, the fastest person to call us is your race time, and they are the people that win the tickets to the Talladega Jack Links 500 on Sunday, April 27th.
Yes, sir. Really excited about that. How about you read off that good old trivia question and what we're going to give away?
So the trivia question today is, which city has hosted the most men's Final Four tournaments? And the winner today gets, I just lost it, $25 to that boot store,
there you go.
12-pack of Buffalo Rock, and a special prize.
I mean, I got 2 eggs over here.
Oh, and 2 eggs.
Yeah.
Farm fresh.
Farm fresh
from
eggs.
James.
Morgan, you like eggs?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
Do you like eggs today?
What's your way that you eat eggs?
Scrambled with cheese. What? What do you mean? That's the best way
scrambled.
that's like the best way.
Over easy is the best way. Then you
I
get to
don't know.
salt that
The
toast
best-
up in the yolk.
Best like egg dish, it's got to be the scramble bowl at Waffle House. Like that is my go-to order. It's
Do
the
you do
best.
grits or hash browns?
Hash browns
I do
with
grits.
sausage.
I do grits with sausage.
Scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, and topped.
No, I just get the grits
Okay.
with the and I get scrambled sometimes, but most of the time I'll get the over easy eggs and then the sausage and all that good stuff. Yeah.
All right, so I've been seeing.
No, we gotta hear the rest of Morgan's order.
Oh, the rest of Morgan's Waffle
can't
House
be
order.
it.
Yeah, that's my
First of
whole
all,
order.
That's it.
Daylight or nightlight for Waffle House.
Either time, don't care.
Wow, I'm a nightlight only kind of guy.
What?
Best Waffle House is 3 a.m.
I mean, I feel like Waffle House is good anytime.
So I've been hearing a few random things that have happened in the college baseball world. First of all, the University of North Carolina was cost a no-hitter by a stupid rule. So the batter gets the pitcher gets the 27th out. Unfortunately, the ball hits the runner on first base, causing the runner on first base to be out. But because the ball hit the runner on first base, that was ruled a hit, and the game ended as one hitter. So they're all on the mound celebrating a no-hitter that never happened because the ball hit the runner in play.
So define hit, like the ball.
The ball hit the body,
ball
hit
struck
the person.
Okay, it wasn't thrown or anything like that.
No, it was a
tag
batted
either.
ball that hit the person.
Fine hit. Like, all right, go back to Perry and Young.
Sorry, I'm trying to switch for modes. Got to lock in real quick. Wow, that would make me so angry.
It would.
Honestly, that would piss me off.
All right, David, do we have another caller?
We do. We got Coach Olds. On the
Coach
line
Olds
with us.
trying to play some trivia. Coach Olds, do you know what city hosted the most men's Final Fours?
Kansas City.
That is correct.
Pretty much so.
Yes, sir.
That shocked me when I was looking it up last night. I guessed like 7 other towns before I would have got to Kansas City.
Yeah, you're thinking Atlanta would be one, and I guess you're thinking New York.
San Antonio,
One.
Houston, Indiana. Like, there's a
I
lot
believe
of
New York is 3 on the list. Yeah, New York is number 3 on the list.
a lot of teams or a lot of cities I would have guessed before I would have guessed Kansas City. That's for sure.
Because the crazy part about this is the last time the Final Four was held in Kansas City was 1964.
All right. Well,
You still with us, Coach Olds?
we have your information, and we will chat with you soon.
Don't forget to grab your eggs from Dave, though.
Get your eggs for sure. Take them to Waffle
Oh yeah.
House.
Wait, Coach Olds, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah. How many eggs do you want? I don't have a whole bunch here. I got James gave me a 10 of them this morning, and so I'll eat them all. But I will also share with my fellow gentlemen of Panama City.
Go ahead and take them all.
All right. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
So, where are you officiating this weekend, Coach?
Might be gone.
Do we lose you?
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. Oh.
He's gone.
He's like, oh, Chef Ross talked to me. That's
Yep, enough of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was just crazy. I think I saw that on John Boy Media about the North
Really?
Carolina.
That would
he's one of mine.
upset me so bad as a player and a coach. Anyone in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh, going back to the
North Carolina thing.
Yeah, that's where I saw as well was John Boy. Yeah.
And then another thing, your Texas A&M Aggies stalling out the game that they're up like 6 runs.
Excuse me,
So
what
the-
are you talking about? What game?
Last Sunday, there's a curfew.
No, sir, that was Kentucky. We talked about this Wednesday, did we not, David?
David's on the phone.
Oh, we talked about this Wednesday, actually, and we did not stall. Even had LSU Jeff call in to say that what Kentucky was doing with the pitching was totally like
Garbage.
egregious.
Yeah.
Blech. Sorry, big word.
All right, so we got another caller. Who's on the line with us?
James Fife riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and he himself is one on Mondays and Thursdays.
James
Dave.
Fife from the Inside Drive.
Try to give away some eggs to James. Give them back. Gift them back.
Re-gift.
James,
Hey
go
guys,
ahead.
how goes it?
What's going on, James?
All right, so pertaining to the rule that we're complaining about, here is how the rule works. So when the ball is batted and it hits a runner that is within the line and the runner is out, the batter is automatically awarded first base. So even though that was the last out of the game, the rule book still states that he is awarded first base. Therefore, it is a hit.
Yeah, he's awarded first base, but couldn't it go down as a fielder's choice so the pitcher still gets the no-hitter?
No, not a fielder's choice because the defense didn't touch the ball. He is automatically out as soon as the ball hits him. No defense is needed. So therefore, the runner is automatically awarded first base. So that is why the no-hitter is disrupted, because it is seen as a hit because the defense did not get the batter out.
Correctamundo. That's exactly what John Boy said as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird rule. I've seen it happen like one time in my time of scoring baseball. So, yeah just wanted to let you guys know that way out there rule. That's why I love baseball.
And if you can tell us that rule one more time, you will get a egg sunny side up prepared for you in the microwave this coming Monday.
Microwave eggs.
Excellent. I am looking forward to a great lunch, man.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call, James.
I'll catch you guys later.
And back to our host, we've got Chef Ross.
So that was Kentucky that did that was stalled out the game to not have to play the bottom half of the eighth inning?
Yes, because David backed me up here. I called it a overused and tired gimmick by what they would do.
Yeah, I mean, I back you up 100% right there.
And then
it was a terrible gimmick, too.
Yeah, it's a terrible rule. These kids ain't going to class Monday morning. This is a terrible rule.
It wasn't even really like the curfew rule that...
It was the curfew rule.
No, it was. I'm sorry. What I'm saying is, it's not the curfew rule that I have a problem with.
Right,
it was the way they went about it.
No, it's just the fact that Texas A&M can't find a win right now.
We can't. I mean, you're not wrong. We play Tennessee tonight and for the weekend, and
y'all have Tennessee on? Oh, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
For some reason, I thought Tuesday. I don't know what's wrong with me.
None of us do either.
The third game I want to bring up, and I really wish I knew who the teams were. But last weekend, the coaches changed their lineup cards and their rosters. But the home team coach forgot to put the pitcher he had on the mound on the official lineup. So he was not deemed ineligible. So once this kid threw his first pitch of the game, the visiting coach challenged, and the game was over after one pitch because that was a forfeit.
I mean, technically,
yeah, it's the coach's mistake or stupidity, but yeah, that's a forfeit because he played an ineligible player.
Wow. I didn't see this one either. Sorry, it's been a rough week for me. It's been a really crazy week. But
we're proud of you, Morgan. I just want you to know that.
Oh, thanks. I am doing my best to be in the room today for sure. No, that one has everything to do with all of... Obviously, anyone listening would know this, but NCAA rulings and how you present scorecards and players. But yes, that one, honestly, I can't argue and say that it would make me mad because that...
Yeah, if I'm the kid, I'm mad because it's my turn to take the ball, and what are you doing, you idiot coach? That's your job.
I'm supposed to be...
But, as the coach, you're supposed to be keeping up with that player card and everything else. That's totally on you, pal.
Yeah. It is. I'm not complaining about the rule. I'm just saying that's a weird thing that happened in the last couple weeks in baseball and college baseball at all of this.
Yeah, college baseball. Everything that we've talked about to this point has been college baseball, and that's whose favorite sport?
Me.
Morgan's.
Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando?
I'm guessing Morgan.
Me.
What is
Four Seasons Orlando?
I know, but I know.
It's a foo-foo hotel.
For what?
Oh my God, I forget. It was like a viral video of this really fat baby. It was so viral.
Okay, that's baby gist.
Even one of the NFL teams used it as a meme on their official page.
Okay. I missed that meme.
Is it as viral as that?
There's a fisherman?
The boat captain?
Oh, yeah, the boat captain.
That guy. Well, luckily we're all safe today from Captain Brock Horner tarpon fishing.
What a loser.
Bro, that's a crazy... How awesome was it for that young man to be as respectful / scared as what he was in that situation, which I don't blame him. You climb up on my boat, it's bro, either I'm dying right here in this situation or, we're going to get you back to your boat. But yeah, like that guy maybe he needs to knock off, like, take less Viagra or something.
As long as that boat was getting closer to my boat, if I was that kid, well, he was not really a kid. He was 22 years old.
He was 22?
No, 22.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, well,
so
why are you saying there's I'm a kid?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
The first time I ever fought a grown man was 15 years old. Like, you don't get that excuse past 18. Like, my goodness gracious.
No, because that guy said that he was like a decorated war veteran and things like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I'm a kid.
He shouldn't have acted that way.
I wish I would have known that element of the story. Even though Horner's wrong, but still, that's crazy.
I mean, and like him using the fact that, I'm a veteran and this and that. It's like, obviously you didn't learn a damn thing when you're in the military. You should know that that's not how you act, and you don't like start threatening people with violence and stuff.
Do we know that he's he's not what do you call that, stolen valor?
I've seen some stuff.
Someone has pulled a TLO on him.
Where basically he never. I don't know. Like, I heard he didn't really see combat, and he was like in logistics or did something else that really wasn't.
He was an HR analyst.
Yeah, and then I saw something that his lawyer posted today.
You commented on my post.
Yeah.
It was me that posted that.
Okay, so the lawyer posted something too. So, and the guy's got a long rap sheet. He's been in trouble with the law many a times.
Yes.
So apparently, maybe this buddy of his that's a lawyer is probably just somebody he has on retainer because he's always getting himself in trouble. So obviously, all these other previous times he never learned his lesson. So he's still acting like a thug out there and like an idiot out there on the water, threatening people.
It's like Jack Haggard.
And then on top of that, like, you're okay. So you're a veteran, right? So like, does everybody have to kiss your rear now because you're a veteran now, and like it gives you the right to like just be a jerk to everybody? Like, to me, that's so like is off point. I hate seeing and hearing that kind of junk.
Judge Rick, am I allowed to approach the bench?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
this is an awesome story. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. So what upset
me? The bench is back here today, but
you're not Judge Rick. Sorry, pal.
Shots fired. Pew pew.
What upset me the most about the story was he turned my mic off.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, it's a good thing because we got to pay some bills, and it's time for that hard out of 5 o'clock. So coming out next segment, Morgan will approach Judge Rick for the final verdict.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Head first slide to RBI triple.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves will be at the Miami Marlins.
A walk-off home run, and the Braves win it.
We'll have live coverage from Lone Depot Park in Little Havana coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15. Listen in a rich audio experience on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The remainder of the day, some sun and 80 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the south-southeast. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 69. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 79. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 78 and a variety of mostly clouds and light rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Beach Pizza, formerly Marcy's Pizza, is back with more hours and more pizza. Each Pizza has new owners and now open every day, 11 to 11. Pizza by the slice, whole pies, wings, pretzels, garlic knots, and more choice eats in East PCB. I finally tried a slice, and it was a thin crust, totes, cheesy slice of paradise. 8815 B Thomas Drive, online at beachpizzapcb.com. Call ahead, 850-775-4053.
Introducing Saltgrass at Ward Creek by Culture Homes, a new home community opening soon in Panama City Beach. You're invited to the grand opening weekend, April 12th and 13th of this new community and 2 brand new designer decorated model homes. Thoughtfully designed homes with modern features and flexible floor plans with hundreds of personalized options, all just minutes from Pier Park, shopping, dining, and the beach. It's your chance to be a part of something new built around you. Preview homes at culturesaltgrass.com.
Hey, this is David Hayes, and I want to invite you to Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar Monday evening at 6:30 for the national championship and some good old crawfish. The locals know where to go to get their fix for the best seafood boil in town. That's Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar. We'll give away t-shirts and other swag. Plus, what goes better with championship hoops than crawfish and cold beverages? Monday night, 6:30. Come enjoy the evening at Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar in beautiful downtown Panama City.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, this is Orlando Magic guard Jalen Suggs. Listen for select Orlando Magic games right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to my boy David Hayes and the Afternoon Underdogs.
It is hour number 2, and I'm here to remind you that Best of Bay nominations are now open. So please go to the Best of Bay, nominate the Coach James Hale Show in the morning, the Inside Drive from 11 to 1, and your Afternoon Underdogs for Best Radio Sports, our Best Radio hosts, Best TV hosts, best anything you can think of that we're the Best of Bay at. Nominate. So that way we can win again, and Inside Drive or all 3 shows can take over the Best of Bay Awards. I am Chef Ross, sitting in for David Hayes. Caveman Rick, Morgan Hilliard joining us on ESPN Radio 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 Port St. Joe. It is now time for Morgan to approach the bench of Judge Rick, and I'm going to sit back and watch.
So before I start this, I just want to say this is totally viable because fishing is a sport. Sports fishermen, let's get into this topic. And right now we're currently talking about the viral video of the best boat captain in all of Florida who's on the water 300 days out of the year. Yeah. So, I mean, who's going to argue with him, you know? I guess maybe having multiple DUIs, battery charges, and a possession of a firearm on school grounds isn't enough, but I digress. Anyways, what upset me the most about this viral video was that there are like 3 or 4 other grown men on this boat who just let the captain act this way, not only talk to the kid the way he was, but when he started approaching the boat, not a single one of them tried to stop him from what he was doing or at any point stop him from what he was doing until the very, very end when he's like, take me back to my boat. And he gets him back to his boat and they're like, man, get on the boat right now. Like no one actually cared about the situation or how fast it was like inclining until he literally jumped on that kid's boat. And the way the kid's voice sounded when he did get on the boat, I mean, he was terrified. And I feel like that's why he said, hey, I'm just a kid. I mean, yeah, you are 22, but like, you are kind of just a kid, you know? And I don't think he was wrong, and I think he handled it very well. He was respectful, but I mean, if he didn't do what he said he did, why are you acting this way all because of something you were supposedly in the wrong for anyways?
Yeah, I don't understand what happened. I mean, if you heard the start of the story, the kid, if you will, the 22-year-old was saying, yes, he was in that location earlier that day, but there was another boat there that didn't have its lights on. The dude in question came running through underneath a bridge, almost hit the other boat because it didn't have lights on. It was still dark, I guess, before sunrise. I think
assuming. They said it was about 5 a.m. whenever they were all out there.
So that makes sense, too. But, I mean, it doesn't give you the right to, like, threaten people with violence and yell and scream at them, if it was a mistake or what have you. I mean, the kid basically said, it wasn't me. And then how you mentioned he's got buddies on his boats who are on the boat who he claimed as well in the video were veterans as well, like he was.
And they all knew how hard he was.
Yeah, they knew how much of a badass he was because he was, going to show himself. And, one of the guys that was on the boat, though, from what I understand, was actually filming.
Yeah, okay? He was a content creator.
And he apologized in a post that I saw yesterday afternoon where he comes out saying, yes, I probably should have said or done more, but at the time, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, like, what kind of position, I guess, is he in? If he was just there recording and he's with that dummy along with his other 3 knucklehead friends, things could have ended up bad for him. You know what I'm saying? He could have ended up in the drink or something.
If I'm there and I'm just recording and I'm like physically on the boat watching this go down, and I'm there just for content, I would feel very, very uncomfortable. Speaking in hindsight, I probably wouldn't know how to conduct myself or what do you do, from the kid's side or that guy's side? How do you approach someone who clearly needs therapy?
I don't know. I think what the kids should have done in question is, one, if you're going to get on my boat, like when I saw the other boat coming towards, I was watching the video, like as I was sitting there watching it, I was thinking to myself, why is that kid still sitting there?
Away?
Why isn't he taking off? Or I would at least position myself in such a way that where if that idiot did try to jump on my boat, I would gas it and his ass would fall in the water. And then they would have to fish him out of the water and then I could take off and make my escape or, what have you or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I'd pick up one of my rods and I'd just bust him in the face with it. I mean, you're not coming on my boat.
Isn't it a rule on the water that you don't go full blower under a bridge? You're in a no-wake zone?
Yes, that's actually, it is a statute. You cannot run full blast under a bridge. There are posted speed limit signs for a reason anytime that you're near a passage
And our
or
world
anything
famous
like that.
captain guy was going full bore under that bridge at 5 a.m. Day in question,
just
correct?
blowing through it, not being courteous to other boaters or anything like that, which, I mean, that's just common decency and something if you are a well-known charter captain or anything like that, I mean, just like for attorneys, there's a code of ethics that you have to follow. And, I mean, you've already broken the code of ethics.
And then the really sad part is, isn't there a captain locally that shares the same last name as this guy? I thought I saw some things on Facebook on that.
Yeah, but last name Horner, you can probably go to any town and you can probably find somebody with that last name.
Yeah.
That's pretty, but it's not like
a boat
Smith or
captain
Jones. I understand that, but we're also in Florida too, you got to think, So, I mean, when you're in Florida, a lot of boats, this is the fishing capital of the world, so you're going to have a lot of boat captains, a lot of guys with licenses that are able to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, but this guy that I was thinking of or looking on Facebook from earlier is taking stray shots from this.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, here's the thing too. I mean, Facebook and stuff's no joke. I mean, you out there, you act like a fool. And, I saw the post too, that Morgan put up there, and that lawyer guy was talking about how his wife and his mom got threats and, his business is suffering. Well, rightly so. Your business should suffer. You shouldn't be able to go out there and treat people like that and expect that you'll continue to make money, get people coming onto your charters and stuff. Like, if I wanted to go fishing, I wouldn't choose that guy.
Well, see, my thing with what you're talking about in the post is what the lawyer said was that, first of all, what really, really rubbed me the wrong way, just being in what my profession is as well. If I am actually someone's attorney or anything like that, I've never seen my attorneys do this, so I can't speak for them, but on behalf of myself, I'm not going to make a public announcement if it is real and say, hey, as his attorney and as his friend, wrong. He's your client. Now you've already put bias towards it. That's just that was wrong from the get-go. And then the next part is his business is destroyed. And like Rick's saying, his business should absolutely be destroyed because, I bet you can't get away with things like you used to. You can't really do anything. And I really came into this age when I was born and growing up, whatnot. I watched the internet become popular and really take off and all that stuff. I mean, I was right in what I would consider the golden ages, I guess. But you can't do things. But if you're going to act this way unknowingly, because I bet you that guy had no idea that kid had a GoPro on. And if he did know, even more shame, because you just look like a fool and a jerk. But if you unknowingly acted that way, I don't want to know how you would act. How you would act in any scenario. And what would have happened if that kid hadn't have had a GoPro on? I mean, there's no way to say. It's just very, very embarrassing. If that's how you're going to conduct yourself on a daily, regular basis, regardless of who the person is, you're not a good person.
Yeah. It just shows how comfortable this guy was acting this way.
Yes.
Like he didn't think he didn't have a second thought or whatever. He was just being him, like a normal situation probably every day. And like I said, his rap sheet shows it, with battery charges and stuff. He's basically a hothead, and like I said, again, okay, so you were in the military, you were trained, whether it was special forces, regular or whatever he was claiming to be, you were taught how to hurt and harm and kill people basically,
and
if
I'm some random kid like this kid, and he has every right to be scared, truly, because if you're just some random guy on the water, and in his defense, he doesn't have any real viable way to defend himself.
No.
Truly, if you're going to board a boat like that with the intent to harm, I mean, anyone in their right mind would not already be apprehensive to what was already taking place with the way he was even speaking to him.
And let's cross this over and bring it full circle to the stuff that's been happening here recently. Who's to say he doesn't have a gun on the boat or something? He can do something stupid like that, and pull something out. I would have had like I said, my self-positioned in such a way to where if he did try to get on my boat, I would floor it and get out of there, and hopefully he would spill over into the water, and I mean that would probably the best situation. Probably the whole time I was watching that, I was just waiting for this kid. I'm like, why don't you just you're fishing, didn't even look like you had any fish caught or whatever, just turn the motor on and just
get out of there.
Motor out of there.
That was my reaction.
Just get yourself out of the situation.
I would have gotten out of the situation probably sooner, but the minute that his boat started inching towards him, I already knew where it was headed, and I was like, I would have already been behind the wheel. I don't want to be here. I mean, kudos to him still. He handled it as best as he could, and he stood his ground. Don't get me wrong. That's also a statute, but In this scenario, me being who I am, I would have already tried to make my exit.
I think there's a statute too where you can't board somebody else's boat without permission. So I think what he did there was breaking a law, doing that. The sad thing too, though, is this guy being a boat captain. He can do things to try to salvage his business. Unfortunately, if you have like an LLC, you have what they call a DBA, your name for your business, doing business as. So all this clown's got to do is change the name of his charter to something else, something more friendly or something like that. And unless you do your homework and you go and you look to see who's the proprietor of this business, nobody's going to know that this is the same clown, say 6 months from now, right? So if he wants to continue chartering and doing the same kind of stuff, he's probably going to get clientele again if he posts pictures of fish that he's caught before in the past. And as long as he doesn't try to have his name attached to that kind of stuff, like I said, if people don't do their homework, unfortunately, it's probably not going to change a whole lot of things. So, I mean, it just goes to show you can't take stuff for what it's worth. Do your homework about people, whether it's a boat captain, a doctor, a lawyer, any kind of service that you're trying to get from somebody. Try to find out who you're dealing with so, hopefully you don't get put in a situation like that.
I did see where the local sheriff's office of where this took place, which was in Punta Gorda, I did see where they released a statement like, hey, we have received so many calls about this. We are aware of how viral it is. Just so you know, like, we are already involved and we have FWC involved as well. This guy might honestly lose his license over this.
It'd be nice to. I mean, like, for something like this.
This is the best case scenario. That guy needs serious help.
Yeah, and I think his lawyer also said something about, him, serving and maybe having like some kind of like PTSD or his mental clarity is not all there. Well, I mean, it's more of a reason maybe you shouldn't be out there doing that kind of thing. Maybe you should be out seeking help before you're out, be boat captain in 300 days a year, maybe you should spend 300 days in therapy.
Maybe even more than 300.
And do that first, and see how that goes before you're out there doing this kind of stuff. So, and for people too, just to think, in this day and age, I mean, even if you're out on the water, you got to know that there's a microphone and there's a camera everywhere. I mean, anything you're doing, anywhere you're at, it's going to be recorded.
Public, there's a microphone and a camera. There's,
going to be evidence or, of
he
what you're doing.
He had one on his own boat. One on his own boat. So,
and I'd like to see the perspective of that video because the guy that was on there has a video. We haven't seen nothing released there. I'd like to see maybe, that if that ever got posted, that'd be kind of interesting.
Another viral video that I saw that just popped into my head is the Buffalo Wild Wings in Panama City Beach the other day, where the girl attacked the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, when she went to talk to the line cook. Yeah, for sure. That was also crazy. But I don't want to get too political.
Yeah, it's not a political thing. It's everything. Everybody's got a camera.
Everybody's got a camera. And everyone in the video you're talking about had a camera.
Yeah, had a camera. So obviously they were trying to, they were getting, stuff that they can post and show their buddies when they go back home. Oh, look what we did. Look how foolish we acted and we were trying to get away with stuff, So it just goes to show you the kind of shenanigans going on down here. I mean, somebody's really got to curb some of this stuff.
So I don't think Sierra's talking to me when she says wifey hi.
Oh, hi. I don't have the Facebook pulled up right now. Hi, Sierra. I love you. That's my wife. But
I figured that.
I wanted to ask you guys a few questions. I brought my own questions today. First of all, what do you guys think about tomorrow's set of games? We have Florida versus Auburn, and then we have Duke and Houston. Who are you guys picking?
So my last dollar on Hard Rock is for Auburn to win the national championship.
Why would you do this?
Because the odds were higher than Duke winning the national championship, and I need a bigger bang for my buck. This last dollar pays out $5, which gives me $5 to bet on the Masters.
Okay.
That being said, my big bracket challenge has Duke winning the whole thing, and Duke beating Florida. So I'm going to go with my bracket integrity more than my financial integrity and say it's Duke in Florida and Duke winning Monday.
Yeah, for me, in my bracket, I got Duke winning it, even though my bracket, I don't say it's busted. I'm not going to win the bracket challenge in our group or nothing like that, but I'd like to see that hold true, so I got them. And then between Auburn and Florida, Florida's been there. They won. Auburn hasn't, so I want to see Auburn do something that they haven't done yet, so I got Auburn in that one too.
The one thing I've noticed on ESPN all day is both number one overall seeds. So UCLA in the women's, Auburn in the men's have the longest odds to win the tournament as the number one overall seed.
I saw something, and I wish I had written it down, but I feel like the last time this happened was like over 40 years ago, where all of the Final Four picks were number one seeds.
2008.
Oh, Well, I don't know what I was reading. I don't know what I was reading then. I thought I saw something crazy like that, though. I don't know. I see so much crap.
This is the second time ever. The first time was 2008.
Is Dave back there?
He is back there. He's just not paying attention to us.
Okay, well, I have Florida winning it all, first of all. In my actual bracket challenge, I have Florida winning it all. But what I would like to see, just for funsies, is Houston beating Duke, because they have put out a really great run. I think they already have a really good program, especially with Kelvin Sampson. And I would really, really just like to see that for their program, to at least beat Duke.
So that's a very good possibility of happening. When I was filling out my bracket, I didn't realize these games were in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Which gives Houston a home court advantage.
Yeah.
And really, Duke hasn't been tested all year. They've cruised through every one of their games. So, yeah, I really think that could happen.
The way that Houston put the hurting on Tennessee over the weekend, I wasn't surprised that Houston won out. I had Tennessee in my bracket. However, I didn't think that the gap would be as far as it was. Because, yes, Tennessee stayed in it with free throws, but Houston just dropped bombs on them, for real. It was very, very intense. It was a very high, high emotion game. You could see it on all of their faces, especially whenever Tennessee started drawing more fouls towards the end. A lot of emotions and stakes, of course, but I would really like to see Houston beat Duke.
Unfortunately, that's been the majority of the games in this tournament. We don't have any nail biters. Everything is within 10 points.
Yeah.
And I really miss the drama that every tournament brings, whether it's a Cinderella winning or the high favored winning in the last second shot. But it really, outside of 3 games, the very very first game where South Alabama won on the full court Hail Mary.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that was the very first play-in game. They were down 1. He threw the pass, the wrong person caught it, and he hit a layup as the time went out in the buzzer.
I didn't see that,
Great
but
play.
I'm glad you're saying it. There's too many in 64 for me to watch them all. I do my best, but it's kind of impossible, especially when there's games being played in the middle of in the day of those games.
And then the Wisconsin UNLV game, I obviously was very interested in that game. Wisconsin missed the last second shot to tie to go to overtime, and I think there was only one more game that went down in the last 30 seconds or so.
So being the fact that all 4 number 1 seeds make it, you guys feel that the selection committee got it right by selecting them as the 4 number 1 since they end up, being in the Final 4?
I do. Who else? If you look at the totality of the season, who else deserved to be a 1 seed?
I think outside of statistics and maybe just a little tiny bit of luck, because how often, we said it's only happened one other time. The odds of that happening have to be so very slim. I can't really put a number on it. I'm not good at math, by the way. I don't know if anyone knew this. Reading is kind of my thing, so I could never put a number. But the odds of that have to be super, super slim. But I do have to say really good to the committee for their picks and what they did. They did a really good job, obviously. And I think these games over the next few days are going to be so much better than obviously the first ones, because you said we haven't had any nail biters. I think they're going to be really close, and I think they're going to be low-scoring games.
All right, we got to go to break here. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Radio, Northwest Florida. When we come back, I've got some breaking news to drop. So stay tuned.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your exclusive home for March Madness.
And it goes for the win!
We'll bring you every game live. The NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament, college basketball's premier event, and it's all right here.
And the dream is alive!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The dream, yes!
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The remainder of the day, some sun and 80 with a moderate breeze at 16 miles per hour out of the south-southeast. Tonight, some clouds with lows around 69. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 79. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 78 and a variety of mostly clouds and light rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Want to experience the ultimate car wash? At Tommy's Express, you'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading, flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Try us for free. Text WASH 415 to 86697 to send our best wash, The Works, directly to your phone. You'll love the sudsy clean, ceramic wax, underbody flush, spot-free rinse, and tire gloss. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today. Offer valid to new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional and information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
From the diamond to the end zone, from the studio to the sideline, we're the destination for sports on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
We are back with the Afternoon Underdogs here. Chef Ross taking over one more day. It's Friday. It's almost the end of our workday. We are ready for the weekend. 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Don't forget to nominate all of our wonderful shows for Best of Bay. We are also the home for your SEC champion Auburn Tigers as they take on those Florida Gators tomorrow night. What I teased at the break that I have some breaking news. The 4th annual Pop's Pig Pick and Barbecue will be on Saturday.
Breaking news.
I jumped the gun on that one. The 4th annual Pop's Pick and Barbecue will be on Saturday, June 14th. Over at the Break Room, 2727 Joan Avenue, in honor of my dad, Ron Pops Robinson. Like giving back to our community, doing a charity barbecue every year. This year I picked Father's Day weekend because of scheduling conflicts with the Break Room and other things. Plus, this year I'm kind of the charity for myself. As some of you guys know, I like to go out and feed people that have been affected by hurricanes. And in order to raise money in time and only raise money one time, we're raising the money kept from Pop's Pig Pick and Barbecue is going to feed wherever the hurricanes hit this fall. I hate to say it that way, that it is wherever, but there's always hurricanes, there's always devastation, there's always people in need, and hopefully it's not here, but I can go somewhere else and help out.
Beautiful. No notes. No notes, Chef Ross.
I am looking for sponsors as we're just about 2 months out. People that can help donate towards the cost of food, so that way everything brought up that day is paid for and goes back to help feeding hurricane survivors and stuff like that. If you're a business wanting to sponsor, I can definitely put your business logo on the flyer as I hand those out, which will help get your business out there to the community as well. You can either reach out to me personally through the radio station. David Hayes will give you my contacts, or get a hold of the Break Room and let them know that you want to help out as well.
Right on.
Love it. Love. Thank you for doing that for people in need. That's so very kind of you.
Ooh. My favorite topic of the day. Did you hear about the trademark war going on between Dale Earnhardt Jr., Lamar Jackson, and Troy Aikman?
I feel like the winner of this, I didn't hear about it, by the way, but I feel like the winner of this would have to be Dale Jr.
There is no winner. So basically, they're fighting over the trademark of the number 8. I believe Dale Jr. wants to trademark the number 8 across the board. Mm-hmm. And you can't trademark a number because everybody wears a number and everybody uses that number. Lamar Jackson has some stuff that has the number 8 in his line. And Troy Aikman actually started this off with his microbrewery, EIGHT 8.
I didn't know that. We learn something every day. I had no idea.
I don't see how they can argue this or how you can trademark a number. I mean, it's a number like that. people use for sports and every sport out there just alone. And like for you to just want to stick your flag into number 8, you know, like, I mean, there's other players, you know, that, you know, are a lot more suited to have their number, like where they own it, like a Wayne Gretzky with 99, you know, that, you know, is really well known and has done a lot more in their sport than basically all 3 of those guys combined for all their sports. That this is just ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
This shouldn't even be tabled for discussion, not like through us, but like to have a serious debate or something where they're like going to court or whatever, or getting lawyers and stuff involved. To me, I mean, it's pretty dumb, to be honest with you.
It's the same thing as the Ohio State trying to trademark the word "the" or "the." They both, in my opinion, have the same amount of ground to stand on. You can't trademark something that simple that is in basically every sentence, that every team in the history of all sports have a number 8 on their roster.
I mean, like, the NFL hasn't even retired, you know, Troy Aikman's number 8. I mean,
The
Dallas
Cowboys haven't even retired it.
I was going to say, I don't even know if they do, but I mean, like, here's the thing, going back to what I said about like Gretzky, okay? So like the NHL, the whole NHL retired the number 99. Nobody in the NHL can wear the number 99. That says something.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, like, and you don't got Gretz going around saying, okay, number 99 is mine now, and nobody else can wear that. So, like, what is it? Who wears, Judge wears 99, I believe,
wears
right?
99, yeah.
So, like, yeah, Mike Judge, you can't wear 99 now for the Yankees because I own that number because I'm the great one. You know, like, I don't know, like, Lamar and Troy and Earnhardt, get a life, dude. Find something else to spend your time on because this is clown shoes as far as I'm concerned.
I think when you make that much money, you don't really notice how. I can't think of a good word for
like
this
how
scenario.
pompous and like, you know, stuck up do you have to be to try to think that like, you know, like, oh, I own this number. You know, like, I mean, get real, man. You're just too full of yourselves.
It almost feels like Earnhardt only wants it because he wants the status that, you know, 3 has for
Well, I
his
was going to
dad.
say, like, if anything, like that number should be maybe retired in the sport.
It's okay for NASCAR to retire number 8 as Dale Jr.
Yeah.
No problem
That's
with that.
what I mean. Like, if
It's
you're
okay for the Baltimore Ravens to retire number 8 from Lamar Jackson. It's okay that each team, I mean, at some point you become the Yankees and there's no more numbers to choose from because of how storied your franchise is.
Well, sooner or later they might have to start putting letters on their jerseys if the Yankees want to keep retiring numbers and stuff like that and put it in a ring. You know, where are you going to go?
Yeah. And it's beautiful that the Major League Baseball retired 42 for Jackie Robinson, but that's only within their sport.
Right. You can't do it. You can't, like, cross them. That's really crazy. You couldn't go across. When I said if you're winning this debate, I feel like if it's just between the 3 of them and they're just like 3 average Joes and it's not crossing sports or anything, I guess give it to Earnhardt. I don't really know. I don't really know Troy Aikman as well as I know that name, I guess.
I mean, Troy Aikman's won, what was it, 3 Super Bowls?
He was the last Cowboy quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I mean, so what? You know, like, okay, so now you get to get your number, you know, awarded to you or something. I mean, like I said, I
It's not
don't know.
like he's Tom Brady or anything.
Well, even then, like Tom Brady, I mean, like, you know, like in his number 12, like who cares? I mean, he's got his trademark with the TB12, you know, but it's got TB in it, and it's kind of like, you know, geared and, you know, the artwork to make it look like, you know, the 12 involved with the T and the B, and I get all that kind of stuff too. But I mean, like, he doesn't even have that.
That's what I'm saying.
And he doesn't deserve that.
He,
you know?
he didn't even like reach that high.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of a
like I said, the only
weird
person
scenario.
in the recent memory that I can think that even remotely comes close to even like wanting to have this or deserving of this would be somebody like Gretzky, and I don't think he does even. So, I mean, like I said, I think this is just ridiculous. I mean, just I guess it's NFL offseason. This is a way for people to get some attention, like in the NFL. I mean, NASCAR is going on right now, but I just think, yeah, this is pretty dumb.
100%. It's frivolous, but as I was told way back when, I think my very first culinary school class is it's not a matter of if you get sued, it's when you get sued.
I don't want to get sued.
Yeah. Well, stop kicking babies.
Yeah. I mean, I'll settle out of court maybe for a good amount of money.
For a dozen eggs?
No.
Are you going to settle for a car?
No, I wouldn't do that either. Like we talked about before, like who was it? Yeah, that gave up his number and got a car.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like no, man. Like you can get a lot more out of somebody than just a car, especially somebody making like, hundreds of millions of dollars. I'll be going for the bank there. If you want my number, you can get it, but you're going to have to give me something worthwhile for it. Otherwise, sorry, man. If it's that important to you, you'll cough up the dough.
Yeah, I just want the cash. Just put it in my hands.
Or like we talked about, a car is something that'll devalue every day it sits or you drive it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At least if you got like a house, some kind of property, it would appreciate, and you could get more money down the road for it. But a car, that's just stupid, man.
Didn't Brady sell or buy one of his memorable, like important touchdown passes, footballs? Didn't he buy that with cryptocurrency once?
I don't know, maybe. I know like when they had the original ball that was supposed to be his last touchdown ball and it got auctioned off for a bunch of money, and then he just comes right back out like, after he was in retirement to come out of retirement, which means that ball isn't really worth nothing now, and somebody paid a boatload of money for something that was supposed to be the last of something, and then he just turns around and changes that to not the last of something. You kind of look like a fool too, I guess, for dropping that kind of change on something, especially nowadays with, how wishy-washy these players are. I mean, it used to come a time where if you say you're retired and you're done. So now it's just a ploy.
Would you settle for some Bitcoin if there's a lawsuit?
Absolutely not.
No, I want gold, actually, man. Gold holds its value. Gold's real. It's tangible. It's something I can hold in my hand, and it's something that since the beginning of time people used for currency and traded with and whatever. So give me that over anything.
I feel like a lot of people cross the line too much as well with like sentimental and monetary value. Just because it's sentimental to like these 13 people doesn't mean everyone's going to cough up this amount of dough for, a touchdown ball or a car or a house or anything like that. I feel like that line is blurred quite a bit.
Yeah, well, a Cheeto sold for like $75,000 last week.
Yeah, I mean,
because it looked like a Pokemon.
It's not just sports. It looked like Charizard.
Well, I mean, like just like anything else in life. I mean, you're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you. Something's worth whatever you can get out of it. And if you could find the right sucker out there, I mean, I guess
you found the sucker for the $75,000 Cheeto.
Somebody wanted it that bad. I mean, I wish I could find something like that worth really nothing that I can turn into that kind of cash. It'd be kind of nice.
If anyone is a sucker for me, I accept payment in Chick-fil-A, by the way. I accept payment.
Or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and Chick-fil-A and Dr. Pepper. Thank you.
Tyler, you hear that? Chick-fil-A?
That's how I accept my payment.
Dr. Pepper currency. Soda pop bottles instead of change.
All right, Morgan, what else is going on in the Twitterverse?
Okay, so this is I don't want to say controversial, but it caught my eye and someone had brought it up to me, and I just really haven't been able to stop thinking about this right here. Has anyone seen the GQ photo shoot for Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn?
I saw one picture with them and the dog.
Okay.
By a staircase.
So I looked through the entire photo shoot, and so first of all, Skeens came out and he was like, oh, I got a lot of backlash for these photos. And I was like, what could you have posted that received so much backlash? Is it very risque, that kind of thing? Well, then I looked at the photos and I was like, what actually is going on in any of these photos? And just give it a quick Google search while I'm talking. But amongst all of these photos, there's no real theme. There's nothing to really tie it together. And on top of all of this, Olivia, you're so beautiful, and Paul Skeens, you're one of the greatest new pitchers in this era, but they just look so uncomfortable. It's just very, very uncomfortable. It almost gives a vibe that you're in a wax house, I guess is what I'm saying. And then I saw an interview between the two of them, and they're talking back and forth, and the way they talk to each other, and obviously they're in love, and that's great for them. It's so stiff. It's so stiff. Even whenever they walked that red carpet and they were at opening day and all that stuff that they showed up to, they always have this very stiff look about them. And it's definitely shown over in this photo shoot as well. It was just very, I don't know. If you're bored, you don't have anything to do, just give their photo shoot a look. It's something you can definitely look at in front of your wife because like I said, there's nothing risque. I mean, she might even be interested as well in looking at the photos, but there's something about it that just gives a very off-putting tone.
Yeah, you think they're faking it at all or anything like that? That's part of the problem or something? And maybe they're an item, but it's more because of where they went to school and they both have careers and they're parlaying, their popularity and notoriety in the games that are the sports that they are affiliated with to kind of elevate both of their statuses?
I think that they're both very successful. Yeah, obviously, they've got the record to prove it. And I think that they really have something real between them as well. I don't question that either. What I don't get about it is like, I think, maybe they're like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and like they have outside commodities. Travis Kelce has been in a lot of commercials lately. Taylor has everything going on for her, and maybe it's something like in that realm. But I would love to see like Livy Dunn branch out and maybe like become some type of model or something like that, or not an influencer, but like, she could really go far. She's a beautiful girl. It's just maybe this was forced upon them because of their popularity, but the photo shoot is so just kind of uncomfortable. Like, I was looking at it and I was like, why don't you guys look like you line up together? It's just very strange. And maybe Paul Skeens, maybe he didn't want to do it, but because he likes or loves Livy so much, he agreed to it. But it just looks very, very forced and stiff and just unnatural. Like, there's also a photo of her like in the kitchen and she's on the counter and like she's just got like an oven mitt. And I thought her outfit, like for what she was wearing, it looks very, very good on her. But even that photo in itself, it's just of her, by the way. It's just very awkward. Like, what am I supposed to be looking at? Like, what's the theme? What's going on here? It didn't make any sense at all. And then they're like in the jackets with the dog, and they're outside in the snow, and then there's another one of them on the staircase, and then there's like a photo of them like opening the front door. I mean, are they supposed to be like an everyday modern American couple? Like, it doesn't make sense from photo to photo to photo. It doesn't make any kind of sense.
Maybe, I don't know, one of them's not like liking photos or photogenic. Like me, I got ruined like when I was a kid with photos with my parents and stuff, and I hate having my picture taken. I mean, literally, the only time I want a picture taken is if I'm holding a fish that I caught that I'm proud of. Then I can kind of stomach having my picture taken. But outside of that, I really just I don't want to have a camera in my face. That was just because, like I said, my parents having like a photographer coming to the house, making me and my sister like go upstairs, put on an outfit, go downstairs, take some pictures, go upstairs, change clothes. It's like I'm not a model. I'm like a 9-10-year-old kid. I don't want to do this kind of stuff. So because of junk like that, I really can't stand pictures. So maybe like Skeens maybe has a problem, with that. I would think Olivia Dunn being like a, beautiful looking woman or whatever, she's probably all into taking selfies and having her photo taken and blah, blah, blah. So she's probably a lot more comfortable and more natural when it comes to that kind of stuff. Maybe he just is like the same kind of person like me and just doesn't dig it. And maybe that's kind of what makes it a little contrived and a little made up. And then he said the one with her like by herself in her kitchen. Well, maybe she just isn't like that kind of a person. Maybe she can't boil water, Maybe her skill, talent is, doing backflips on a mat like in the gym, as opposed to, being a real like I want to say a housewife, but somebody like, domestic in the house.
No, I think she baked him a cake for his birthday this year or this past year.
I wonder if it had icing on it or not.
No, it did. I remember seeing a photo.
From what we were talking
Every cake
about
needs
earlier.
icing.
Yeah, I remember her like, sharing it and whatnot, but it just, the photos just come across as just very almost unnatural, and like I like both of them individually and together. I think they go great together, and I think they really, have something real. It's just the set of photos just really don't make sense to me. And I think Skeens might have been, like you're saying, caught off guard a little bit because, yeah, he's used to having a camera on him, but think about where those cameras are actually positioned on a field. They're not there, like face. Staring at you. And when he's playing, he looks very, very natural, like an everyday kind of movement. But when you compare that to how this was going, it's just kind of like,
yeah, make sure you're in it. He's in his element. Yeah. He's wearing a uniform where he's not like dressed up. Yep. He's not trying to smile and like, work the camera, if you will, or whatever. He's just being himself and doing his job, basically. So, I mean, yeah, I get all that. And now you're asked to, get, in front of, certain situations, whether it's their house, a set, or whatever, where they, did it at, I don't know where.
I don't know either. I don't know.
It looks somewhere in the cold because I see snow.
Putting on, outfits that it might be types of clothes he might not normally wear either. He might be like a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. I mean, I don't know this. And then you're getting asked to wear like, fancier clothes that just don't make you feel comfortable. So just that kind of stuff alone can kind of throw you off and make you kind of like,
Was this the picture you were talking about?
Not wanting to do it. So,
That's the one I was talking about.
Doing that kind of stuff. I'm sure like, if you're not like feeling comfortable,
that does not even look like a kitchen,
and you're having to take those pictures and stuff, I can see where that would probably that would show like on your face or what have you. Yeah, and I mean, she's just like looking like, she's trying to sell something.
I don't know. It just, if you look at them like side by side and like go through the frames, none of it adds up. Maybe if they were like,
there's the kitchen.
If they were trying to like trademark something, it would make a ton of sense. Or maybe, they were doing this like American couple thing and they're like, this big happy family with them and their dog. And they're like, some of the photos are just like around the home and like the outfits vary like maybe throughout the day. It would line up and it would make more sense.
More natural.
But the way they line them up and like, there's one where they have her in these like pink leggings and clear shoes, and the outfit didn't even line up, and like she makes it look good because she's herself, but if you were to pick it apart and put it on anyone else, you would be like, what's happening?
Right.
If you saw this person at the mall, you would be like, this is how you chose to walk outside today?
People go to the mall still?
I know we don't really have a mall anymore.
I thought malls were kind of like a thing of the past now. Everything's done online and nobody goes to a mall anymore if they're still
Pier
even
Park
open.
kind of counts as a mall.
I miss like the actual mall. I miss going to the mall and like getting a pretzel and a cookie and like walking around.
I was a mall rat when I was a kid.
It is so sad driving by our mall.
I haven't been in a mall and I can't remember how long it's been, and I don't really have a desire to anymore. I mean, it was great when I was like, 17, 18 years old and stuff like that. Like you said, hanging at the mall with your buddies, going to the movies, going to the arcade, things of that nature, raising hell, shenanigans. But the youth was what messed it up, a lot of those things with the malls. Well, of course, people like shopping online and stuff instead of going to the mall anymore. But yeah, I don't know if they'll ever come back, if that's a thing that's going the way of the dodo bird.
All right, let's take our final break for the week here. You are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs in the CBCConstruction.com studios. When we come back, we will give an update out on our big bracket challenge. See who still has a chance to win the cash. This is Chef Ross, and
take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
It's March Madness in college basketball, and owner Jason Mulder of Best Way Portable Buildings invites you to dribble down and slam dunk a deal on a custom-made building. Jason is dealing, so go for 3 from downtown. Best Way Portable Buildings is a Golden Age builder located north of the Old Mall on Highway 231. Online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. Since 1989, simply the best in portable buildings, period.
Introducing Saltgrass at Ward Creek by Culture Homes, a new home community opening soon in Panama City Beach. You're invited to the grand opening weekend, April 12th and 13th of this new community and 2 brand new designer decorated model homes. Thoughtfully designed homes with modern features and flexible floor plans with hundreds of personalized options, all just minutes from Pier Park, shopping, dining, and the beach. It's your chance to be a part of something new built around you. Preview homes at culturesaltgrass.com.
Hey, this is David Hayes, and I want to invite you to Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar Monday evening at 6:30 for the national championship and some good old crawfish. The locals know where to go to get their fix for the best seafood boil in town. That's Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar. We'll give away t-shirts and other swag. Plus, what goes better with championship hoops than crawfish and cold beverages? Monday night, 6:30. Come enjoy the evening at Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar in beautiful downtown Panama City.
God, guns, and wrestling. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, we are back for the final segment of the week. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 right here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Don't forget to call or text us, 850-215-6290. And starting Monday, bright and early at 7:15, listen to the Coach James Hale Show, or 7:15 and 8:15 for the code word of the day. When you hear that word, text that code word and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Then listen to 1240 at the Inside Drives and 540 with the Afternoon Underdogs. If they announce your name, race to the phone and call the number. How long ever it takes you to get back is your qualifying time. The 2 fastest qualifying times will win the race to Talladega and 2 tickets to the Jack Langs 500 on April 27th. David, do you have the bracket pulled up for the Big Bracket Challenge?
I could do that up.
All right.
Yeah, I have it. All right. So, do you want to look at the group forecast, or you just want to look at who's on top?
Let's do who's on top and who's still in the forecast to win.
Let me scroll on down. Actually, I can't just scroll on. I'll take a long while. So we'll go over here to the group results right now. At the top, it's gonna be Afros and Elbows. They've got 1120 and their max available with 1760. Coming in second, Gator Jamie, who's got 1,090 points. Max available is 1730. Jerry D and PC coming in tied for second at 1090 as well with 1730 points, and then ATM McCord at 1730. They've got Florida as their champion. So 3 of our top 4 contestants have Florida as their champion. 1 Auburn coming in for 5th is Danny G with Duke. They've got 1080, 1720 available. Then you've got a couple more Gator picks there. Schomper 78 with 1080, got 1720 available. And then AD Josh Latch, the I Love, which is Jackson State Jeff with the Houston Cougars. So if Houston wins, it will be Jackson State Jeff. Then you got Ken McVeigh. I think that Morgan knows. Oh, Ken McVeigh there does a great job calling the games for the Gulf Coast State College athletic teams there. He's got 1070 with 1710 available. And your final pick there with the Gators.
All right. So, Morgan, what does Kirby Smart have to say about the transfer portal?
So Kirby Smart did a presser, and he was talking about the transfer portal, and obviously tampering has always been a factor in college sports. I mean, everyone knows this. We're not dumb or oblivious to anything like that, but he was kind of indirectly leading to how it's just more apparent than ever, and how they're getting, links and things like that to join this Zoom call to see what players, are still eligible, who's going where, what they're kind of thinking, and who's going to be available whenever, they can come time to make picks. And he was like, well, I don't want to do this. Like, what if it's my players? What do I see when I log in there if everyone else is doing it? How would I feel about that?
So these are players that have not announced they're entering the transfer portal yet that are in the Zoom call.
Yes. So they're having all these conversations, whatnot, and it kind of just leads you to this question of NIL. I know we mentioned earlier on the show about how, what do we think about the committee getting all the March Madness picks right? And then I guess where I'm trying to take this is you don't really know where these guys are going to end up because of NIL and things like that. And now everyone's kind of in it. It feels like it's less for the love of the game and wanting to make something of yourself. And how much can I get people to throw a bag at me?
So I believe that Max Delighton's beloved Indiana Hoosiers have 0 members of the 2025-26 men's basketball team on a roster right now. They have all either graduated or transferred out with the new coach coming in.
I'm sure he's very upset about that.
That's what happens when you got small rosters like that. It's not too hard for people to be leaving.
No, and it's even harder probably to try to convince people to come to you if everyone else has left.
Yeah, and I think it was yesterday I was watching highlights from a Jay Billis interview, and he says that the NCAA doesn't want to call these kids employees, even though college students are employees of universities in every aspect of a university except for on an athletic field / court, whatever you want to call their thing. So they have no problem hiring a student to work in the bookstore. Why have a problem hiring a student to play basketball / football / whatever sport they're playing?
Because then they might actually have to list what they're really paying them and making it public.
So you sign them to a 3-year contract, is what he had said, with buyouts and options and mandatory got to go to classes. So they're still student athletes, even though we all know they don't go to class. And they're not amateur students anymore. They are now minor league athletes.
But if they're employees, then doesn't it fall under the stuff where you have workman's comp and things like this that, people can claim if something happens? So you have to have some kind of a waiver or have to have some kind of thing done to, I think, mitigate some of those legalities.
There's still some sort of workman's comp. Say you you get injured on the field, you're still taken care of by the university.
You're still taken care of. That's what I was going to say. That was my first point. You're still being taken care of by the university. They're already offering you, things through scholarships, very loose and very vague. They're already offering you through scholarships. But another thing is, if I'm Texas A&M and I'm now accounting for all of these people, I already account for all of my student athletes, regardless what sport they play or what they're involved in. Now I have to add another element to it, and now I've got to make actual physical contracts, not just for every sport, but let's say I'm Hayden Schott and I'm making slightly less than Jace Lavalette or something like that. Now you've got to draft an entirely different contract, and then you have to hire more people to oversee that these contracts are being upheld, and if I'm paying you whatever, that they're getting, paid on time and all that stuff, which I'm sure they already allot for in some way, but you've just taken this very kind of minute stake, which I'm sure is already hard to mitigate, and now you've just amped it up by 1,000.
Yeah. Or if I'm the brand new student coming in,
yes.
I know that I sign a $2 million contract with a $750,000 buyout if I want to be a kid and transfer to said other school. So either the new school pays for my buyout, or I just give some of that money back. I mean,
can just sign a no-compete clause.
And all the things that we've seen, just this past year with head coaching changes and buyouts and things like that. And obviously, I only know pain. There's nothing to smile about in my life. But all of these things combined, I'm sure if you've got 10 to 15 guys just in one sport alone, it's very hard to keep up with all these minute details. And why am I going to hire maybe 10 to 15 people to oversee 40, 50 players just for one sport, or, like baseball or football? Definitely the big three.
Well, all these schools are going to a GM anyway of their athletic departments. So wouldn't that fall on that person's shoulders?
That'd be too much for one person.
That's why I'm saying they're going to have to hire teams.
You have to have an HR department, a separate HR department just for that kind of stuff. I mean, the GM can handle making the contracts, deciding how much NIL money or how much money the players are getting, and trying to manage that and manage the roster of players so that you if you have people leaving, you have people coming back to replenish what's getting taken out of the cupboard essentially. But like Morgan's saying, for everything else and all the other things that they have to figure in for, that's what you need another staff of people. I'm sure there's already an HR department for the university, but that's for the professors, the administrators, the things of that nature. Now you're taking on these athletes as employees, which is kind of like a different scope of way of doing things. So I'm sure you have to have people that are more specified for that kind of thing, so as to get the paperwork right and all the terminology, so there's no loopholes, there's no ways people can exploit things.
And then overseeing these buyouts and whatnot. And it's already hard enough to watch a head coach go somewhere else and try to figure out a buyout, and who's obviously it's already decided, but there's obviously some sort of transaction that takes place, and then who's overseeing if we're going to negotiate or things like that, who's going to head that up. And then they already have guys on these teams who are just all they do is scour the transfer portal and scour for these people, and they're looking at stats and this, that, and the other. And whatever they have available to them is obviously enough to cover, and even sometimes they probably fall short or are a little short-staffed, depending on if they go on vacations or we don't want this person with our program anymore, XYZ, whatever you want to look at it. Now you're going to have to add in maybe double what you're already paying.
It just pains me that 2 years ago there was 212-ish, 200 students, basketball players in the transfer portal. This year, it's well over 2,000.
Yes.
And we still have meaningful games going on right now, and there's 2,000 kids in the transfer portal.
But they got to get real too. You got a lot of these dumb kids that are going in the transfer portal that think that they're of value someplace else, not thinking that hey, they might lose the current spot that they're in right now because they think the grass is going to be greener someplace else. Well, it's like musical chairs. You know what? You might do that, and then your spot might get taken on this school or on this team, and then you might not have a seat at another place depending on how things pan out. And you might have just cost yourself an opportunity to play this next year, So I think there's a lot of nonsense getting put in these kids' heads. There's a lot of yes men, if you will, trying to tell them that, hey, that you can do this, that you can do that. And it's almost more like a professional AU basketball where it's all about people just wanting to get their time and their stats and not about actually, like, you know, fundamentals, learning how to play the game correctly and doing the right thing. So I think, like, the brakes are going to get pumped here pretty soon.
Yeah, we need to do two things. One, stop opening up the portal while the season's going on. Football, basketball, baseball, whatever.
Well, they have to in this sense right now because you have to be enrolled in the next school if you're wanting to go to classes and stuff. They have to do it now because the spring semester starts while they're doing all this right now.
If that's the case, then how come there's there's a football portal date and a basketball portal date? Why not have an all athlete transfer portal window?
There's too much crosshair. There's too much going on. It would just bug up their systems and make everything harder internet-wise on the first front.
We need to monitor the portal better so that more athletes are staying at their schools and not going promising for this, that, and the other thing and get absolutely nothing.
Well, think about what, and I'm not dismissing your claim, but think about what Rick just said where, you know, and to your point of how many people are in the transfer portal right now just for basketball alone. Like, you kind of do have to get real because how many cities, counties, schools, whatever, are all across the U.S. Now think about everyone who's probably coming out of these cities, towns, schools, whatever rank they're at currently, whether they're coming out of high school, they're in college still, they've gone their whole lives being told you are the best. And now you're also competing with all these other kids who are also being told the exact same thing. You're all the best, but you all can't actually be the best.
Right. And then not to mention, like, this all just came about like overnight with the NIL stuff in the last couple of years, right? Yeah. This wasn't planned out. This wasn't thought down. People didn't sit down and brainstorm all this ahead of time. It was just kind of thrown in the mix. So unfortunately, things are going to have to work themselves out. They're going to have to see what kind of nightmarish things come about, and then they're going to have to try to navigate those waters to try to mitigate this stuff and find out, like, what's the best, you know, course of action or best plan to kind of handle this. And like I said, because it wasn't thought out, there wasn't a structure being built ahead of time. Unfortunately, it's like they say, it's like the Old West now, and like they're gonna have to figure this out, and it's gonna take a little bit of time to iron it out.
It is the absolute worst scenario that one kid can play for 9 different schools in 4 years. That's asinine. It's terrible.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to see some really ugly things come about this before anything is actually done. Like, the first one that's really actually super ugly is it's going to be talked about for quite a while. And I mean, there are already some horrible things going on, just like the Florida situation where you have the guy who thinks that he should be owed $2 million just because he was told that. But that's for another time.
All right, we got to go. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We will see you Monday night at Lone Star Boyle House in downtown Panama City.
No shenanigans this weekend, yo.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you.